go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And the brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. A lot we're going to get to here over the next 3 hours. As we mentioned, this is the week that SEC Media Days should be taking place. So on the days that teams in particular are supposed to be taking the podium, we'll talk to those in 15 minutes. One of our favorite, Jayson Swain from the Swain event up in Knoxville, former Vol wide receiver. I want to talk to him about Tennessee this upcoming season, but also as a guy who was a former player who I know played hurt and also went through an extenuating circumstance whenever he was at Tennessee back in 2005 when they played on that Monday night in Tiger Stadium. I want to talk to Swain about what it's like to have to adjust and things like that. So we'll get to that with Swain about 15 minutes from right now. Larry Holder about an hour from right now. Eric Held, president of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association, bottom of hour 2 to talk a little bit about high school football. If it will happen, what all the particulars are. I know there's been a lot of conversation about that over the course of this week because of something Eddie Bonine said at the Louisiana State Capitol earlier this week, but that was not breaking news. So what do we need to know? We'll get into all that with Eric Held next hour, Russ Mitchell, hour 3. So a lot we'll get to. This is kind of becoming a daily occurrence, and I'm doing my dead level best, y'all. My dead level best to not just basically have the start of every show on repeat from the day before. And I want to advance the story as best I can and keep you up to date with things that are happening and what is said. And so we're going to try our best to do that. And there are some things that are notable today. Of course, yesterday, what we did discuss was that Ed Orgeron met with the Vice President of the United States and, basically made his plea, saying we need to play, the state needs it, the country needs it. He also said, I don't think we can take this away from our players, take this away from our state and our country. We need football. Football is the lifeblood of our country. The Vice President of the United States, in some respect, agreed and said he was pretty confident that things could actually move forward.
I'm very confident that our universities can develop plans to safely reopen campuses and restart sports programs. And as Coach O and I discussed today, I think it's important. It's important not just for the student athletes, not just for schools like LSU, but it's important for America. And I don't have to tell all the SEC fans in the room that the American people love football. We love our sports, and we all are prepared to work with athletic directors, with universities around the country to make sure that they have the support, the resources, and the guidance to be able to move forward. But as the coach said today, I think they've had their coaching staff back on campus for a couple of months. They've had athletes on for a number of weeks, and they're doing the kind of testing and taking the kind of countermeasures to put health first, and we're confident we can do that.
So that was the Vice President of the United States. And one thing is crystallizing for sure. There is not going to be uniformity among the Power Five. That much, especially on this day, that much is something that I'm certain that not only conference by conference, but state by state and school by school, you are going to have very different outcomes. For example, today, the University of Michigan, in a letter to its fans, announced that they will not have season tickets available this year. When games are played, if fans are allowed, they would be sold on a game-by-game, ticket-by-ticket basis. No season tickets. And also, they are prepared to go to a limited number of fans inside a Michigan stadium or no fans altogether. So the Big Ten has already announced conference-only schedule, and Michigan today saying they're prepared to go to limited capacity or no fans, which is something that yesterday on this show, if you remember, Stephanie Remp, LSU's chief operating officer, was here, and I asked her specifically about the idea of playing with no fans, and that was something that she just flatly rejected.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in our department is prepared to get their arms around no fans. Like that would be devastating.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have 100,000 people. it's not like I'm speaking the gospel. We don't know what is going to happen. But the idea that no fans would be there, I think, is a little bit hard for all of us to get our arms around.
So the vice president says we're moving along. Ed Orgeron makes his plea for football. Stephanie Remp says nobody at LSU has wrapped their arms around the idea of not having fans. There has to be fans in some capacity. A day later, the University of Michigan says we're okay moving with limited capacity or no fans. So right there, you've got two Power 5 programs in different conferences with very, very different realities and very different approaches. The other thing that was interesting is that this morning, Greg Sankey was a guest with Clay Travis on his radio show, Outkick the Coverage. And Greg Sankey said something this morning that actually, in a way, gave a cosign to one of the things Ed Orgeron told the vice president yesterday. I'll let you hear Coach O in a second, but this was Greg Sankey this morning with Clay Travis when he talked about early on when there was a return to campus and you saw a lot of positive tests. LSU was one of those that had a large number that was reported. Here's what Greg Sankey said.
We brought people back and had positive tests among our student athletes. They had care, they had oversight, they had the kind of support. And then we had young people that had to go through the learning experience that college today and moving forward this fall doesn't appear that it will be like college when you were at George Washington, right? You know, the gatherings and the way you interact have impact. So you had a lot of isolations, not positive tests, but isolations.
So Greg Sankey tells Clay Travis early on, we had an uptick, and guys had to learn, hey, don't do that. You can't go out. You see what happens when you do this, but it was a learning experience. This is something essentially that Ed Orgeron told the vice president yesterday.
We got into it while working out. We have not had one kid catch the virus from working out in our training room. It's sterile. We clean it every day. Everybody gets tested now. The young men will be young men. They went to a party. 100 people were there. They got the virus. They learned their lesson. They're not going to the party anymore. I promise you.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. The audio is bad, but you heard him say it there, guys. If you heard it, guys partied. They got the virus. They're not partying anymore. They learned their lesson. That's something Greg Sankey said this morning. Some guys had to learn the hard way, but it's worked. Clay Travis asked Greg Sankey, and he continued on, and he talked about the numbers conference-wide. Remember, 14 SEC programs all going through voluntary workouts. Here's Greg Sankey this morning updating the numbers in the SEC.
Last week, our numbers are way down in the low single digits to zero. One of my presidents this week said, hey, I'm comfortable that we can support and oversee and keep people healthy. And part of what's had to happen is the education about how you conduct yourself on your own time.
The education of the players about how you conduct yourself. One of my theories all along has been the more even as we've opened up the country, part of the reason that we've seen the number of severe cases drop is that we've all collectively learned how to better protect ourselves. Even though not everyone is conformed to social distancing and wearing a mask, plenty have. Masks, wash hands, social distancing. If you're ill, stay home. And I think that's helped us limit the number of severe cases in the country. And it seems like that's one of the things Greg Sankey's talking about there and that Ed Orgeron is talking about. We kind of learned our lesson. A lot of people have. But maybe the most important thing is Sankey saying one of his university presidents thinks we can proceed, that we can protect student athletes well enough to proceed. Because remember, it doesn't matter what I think, and it doesn't matter what you think, unless if you listening right now are one of the 14 presidents in the Southeastern Conference, because it doesn't matter what Greg Sankey thinks or what Ed Orgeron thinks or any of the players think. None of that matters. There is no commissioner of college football that's going to make a unilateral decision for every school in the country. Ultimately, what it will come down to is individual university presidents making the best decision for that president's school based on the current phase guidelines in the state. So that's the reality we're all facing, is that what happens at LSU could very well be different from Michigan. And what happens at Michigan could be different from what happens at Nebraska or Penn State based on what's happening in that state and what that university's president is willing to proceed with. And that's the reality where we are right now on July the 15th at 3:10 Central Time in the afternoon, is that what is crystallizing is that the SEC seems to have a bit of a uniform approach, and everybody in the country right now is looking at very different realities. So when we talk about, is there going to be a college football season, that answer may be different in Baton Rouge than in Ann Arbor, than in Eugene, than in Tallahassee, than in Tucson, right? Whether you play, how many games you play, whether there's fans, whether you delay your start. One of the biggest issues, obviously, that we're learning, that we know about college football that is materializing in front of our face, is the lack of a college football commissioner, of one dedicated person who runs the sport, who governs the sport. And it's leading to a lot of ambiguity right now. I know everybody's got questions, everybody wants answers, but the best we can do right now is try to give you bits of information as we get it day by day. All right, after further review, one person who has spoken out is Phil Fulmer. I mean, 2 weeks ago, Phil Fulmer said on radio in Knoxville that they expect to have a full stadium at Neyland this season. It's 100,000 people. How realistic is that? What's going on with Jeremy Pruitt as he enters year 3? We'll talk to former Vol wide receiver, good friend of the show, Jason Swain, when we continue on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers.
AFR. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Richards Honda is constantly looking for smart ways to make things easier for you. So we created our buy from home option. It's the easiest, most convenient way to shop for a car, all from the comforts and safety of your own home. Just log on to richardshonda.com, click on the buy from home button, and with a few simple steps, your new or pre-owned car will be ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. It's fast, easy, and smart. Try it today at richardshonda.com.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
Get an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas.
and I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, this would have been Tennessee's day at SEC Football Media Days in Atlanta, but no media days this year. But we're still going to check in on the Vols. Our good buddy Jayson Swain on Twitter at Swain Event, former Vol wide receiver, good enough to join us. Swain, always great to hear from you, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, man. You, family, everybody's good?
Yeah, man. We're good. We're spending a lot of quality time together.
It's kind of everybody right now. Hey, man,
That's right.
What was the reaction up there a couple of weeks ago when Phil Fulmer said he expects Neyland Stadium to be full this year?
I mean, I don't think anyone reacted really out of turn until he's told otherwise. I think that's how they should prepare. I think you always should prepare, around Thanksgiving to feed a lot of people, and if people don't show up, you have leftovers. I think that's kind of the idea here is you prepare for a regular season as far as attendance, and then you can always kind of dial it back. And so I think they're preparing for that, but I don't think anyone was too surprised by the comments or thought that Coach Fulmer was saying that they were going to pack the stadium no matter what advice was given to them by medical professionals.
What's the my assumption, Jason, is that everybody in the SEC feels the same way about this, and I could be wrong. So let me just ask you, what's the feeling among Vol fans about the fall and about the possibility of playing football? Full stadium, empty stadium, spring, move it, delay. What's the general feeling there?
Just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of questions. I mean, we understand that the players are empowered now. They understand they have a lot of power and they have leverage, and that there's a lot of people making a lot of money off their efforts. And yes, they get a education, but it's not free. It's part of the deal. And so they understand that they're kind of putting their bodies on the line, putting their health on the line, and so they understand that. They know that, but there's just a lot of questions. I think a lot of fans here want to see football. They understand the economic impact, but at the same time, the player safety is very, very important. And there's just a lot of questions, really more questions than answers. There's optimism about the start of the season, just not being able to finish it. I think that's what a lot of people are concerned with. So you start thinking about conference games only. Tennessee plays Oklahoma this year, and that was going to be a big out-of-conference game. So, Matt, just really more questions than answers. And then, I don't know if you guys done this on your show, but you have a lot of hypothetical conversations about what if you do this, what about this, what happens if you can't do that, do this, and so you end up kind of going down a rabbit hole because of this pandemic.
Jayson Swain's our guest. He's on Twitter at Swain Event, former Vol wide receiver. Would you play?
I probably would. Just to be honest,
I know
I thought
would.
about that today. Yeah, I probably would. And I'm someone that has been very, very cautious during this time. I have close friends of the family who has contracted the virus, and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand there's a high survival rate, but I don't want to feel bad for a month or 2 months or have any type of lasting impact. Just me as a has-been athlete. I think athletes have this type of feeling of they feel invincible, and they have a goal. And for me, that goal was to go play professional football and take care of my family. And I just know that my reason why would probably outweigh the concern of contracting a virus. And concussions were a thing that we saw players walk away from the game more once there were more education. But you still have players that when they're concussed, they don't want to come out because they want to continue to play. So you still have to have players that need to be kind of protected for themselves because they still don't want to play the game. And I think that's probably where I'll lie right now. I would probably want to play.
Do you see any similarities with what's transpiring now and what you all went through with the LSU game in 2005 with just all of the uncertainty and then having to travel on game day and just sort of like I had it posed one way, Swain. It was just finding a yes, just find a way to make it happen.
Well, I mean, no one ever thought about not playing. I mean, it was certainly a situation that was not ideal, but our situation wasn't anywhere close to as serious as those LSU players that had family members and friends that lost their homes and lost their lives, and all the Louisianans out down there, the Louisianimals, that's what Lil Wayne would say, right? That suffered from the hurricane. So, no, I've never really thought about it that way, Matt. I think the pandemic is something totally different because you're dealing with your health individually, and you can research, you can go out and get information and educate yourself, and it's one thing to kind of have the flu and be able to bounce back, but the long-term effects is something that athletes probably have a question about, and I would too if I was an athlete.
Jayson Swain's our guest, former Vol wide receiver, host of the Swain Event. You can get him on Twitter at Swain Event. All right, let's talk let's just, for the sake of the convo, Swain, let's just assume that they kick off September the 5th and they play a full season. Let's talk football. What are the expectations for this Jeremy Pruitt team, especially considering the way they finished last year?
I think the expectations, Tennessee always plays the big three, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. You add Oklahoma this year. I think Tennessee fans are expecting to beat one of those teams, and hopefully not be surprised if you beat two of those teams. It's just time. That's where Tennessee has always been judged, is how you do in those games. And for Tennessee to kind of get over the hump and make that next step, I think that's the next move for Tennessee. Yes, you beat Vanderbilt and Kentucky and Missouri. Whippy, but you beat South Carolina, yeah, Whippy. You beat South Carolina beat Georgia, so I guess by that equation, we beat Georgia. Not really, we got beat down by Georgia. So it's just time to take that next step and beat Georgia, beat Florida, beat Alabama, or beat one of the premier programs in the country in Oklahoma. That's the next step, and I think Tennessee has a defense that's returning that should be a top 25-30 defense with a lot of experience, secondary that have several NFL players. They have experienced quarterback, even though he's had his bad moments and his good moments during this pandemic. It's really good to have a quarterback that's kind of been in the fire. And so you have an offensive line that Cole Kublik from SEC Network puts in the top 5 in the country. Led by Trey Smith, who is a first round talent, probably one of the best guards in the country. So this team has some things going for it to win, 9, 10 games and push and get one of those games out of the Big Four, possibly 2.
So how do they win Bama, Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma? How do they win one or two of those games?
You got to win line of scrimmage, man. That's what it's all about in this league. You got to win up front. And, Tennessee has had coaching moves. They've had injuries. They've had, instability with the strength and conditioning program. All these things kind of factor into not being where you need to be in the trenches as far as defensive line play, offensive line play. And Tennessee finally has an offensive line that can really control the clock and grind on the defensive line, create opportunities for receivers for one-on-one coverage. When the safety's stepping up in the box, it's about the line. It's about trench play, and Tennessee first got to not beat themselves. And so Jarrett Garantano, his biggest strength is his toughness and his ability to take care of the football. Well, he was benched last year because he didn't take care of the football. So he just needs to get back to form. But this is the first time he'll have the same offense coordinator for 2 years. He's about to be a senior, and this is the first time he's saying that. So I look forward to him to have a better grasp of the offense and kind of be the field general and take care of the football like he did there in 2018 and Pruitt's first year. So that's what it's going to take, Matt. It's going to take, tough 60-minute football game of, running the football and stopping the run and taking your chances when you can and, being conservative when you need to, but also taking chances and executing.
Swain, is it 100% Jarrett Garantano's job? I mean, because 3 different guys played last year. I know Maurer played as a freshman. Is it 100% Garantano? He's the guy?
I think he's the guy to start. I think, Harrison Bailey, 5-star quarterback from Georgia. I think, he's here for a reason. He's a quarterback of LSU signee Eric Gilbert. I mean, those guys wrecked shop there in Georgia, won a state championship. Yep. So, he's not coming here to wait. He's not coming here to sit around. That's the reason why he's here at Tennessee. He saw the quarterback play over the last couple of years and knows he has a chance. And so, it's Jarrett to lose. I think Jarrett will start. But if Jarrett takes a step back or regresses a little bit or presses too much, then Jarrett's issue is not because he doesn't care. It may be because he cares too much and he presses too much and he makes mistakes and he processes too much. He thinks too much. And so the moment that happens and the offense is struggling and it puts defense in some bad spots, I can see Harrison coming off the bench and doing some things. So, but I do think it's Jarrett's to lose.
All right, Swain, last thing, and I always appreciate you, man. Best and worst case scenario for Tennessee this year, assuming 12-game schedule on time, all that stuff. Best, worst case scenario.
The worst case is not only losing those big four, but losing one of those other games to a team that you probably shouldn't lose to, like a Missouri or South Carolina, or Kentucky. Kentucky is a team with really good offensive line play. Defensively, they're going to be sound. So that's worst case. Find yourself, winning 7 games in regular season, and you're asking yourself, well, I thought we were supposed to take a step forward.
Yeah.
And, Tennessee's going to have more NFL players this year, and Tennessee had a little bit of a drought. Well, this past season it was 2. That's a start from the previous year. That's a step from the previous year. So you look at just the landscape of college football, but the team that has the most NFL draft picks usually has the best chance of going and winning a championship. I know you guys at LSU can certainly agree with that. So if Tennessee doesn't win more than 7 games, it's going to be a lot of questions asked because this roster has a ton of NFL talent, young and old. But you look at this offensive line, I see 5 or 6 guys playing at the next level.
And what's the best case? What do you think is the ceiling for this team? Everything clicks, it hits. What can they be?
If everything clicks, I think they can get to Atlanta. And I don't know if I would say they would necessarily control their own destiny to get to Atlanta. We've seen Tennessee kind of, lose to Florida, beat Georgia. Georgia beat Florida. That happened there in 2007.
Yeah.
So I can see that scenario playing out. But this offensive line is pretty dang good. And, Pruitt defensively, it's his 3rd year running the system. So those guys will be flying around and making some plays. You know, it really comes down to the quarterback play and really taking care of the football. So if they do all those things, I think the ceiling is playing in Atlanta, but I think a lot will have to fall into place because Florida has an easier schedule, it looks like, in the SEC with the experienced quarterback coming back, and Georgia is going to be very, very talented. I mean, now they are the I guess they're benefiting from the quarterback privilege because J.C. Daniels is now eligible,
right?
And so they're in a good situation. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, but that's the best scenario, Matt.
He is Jayson Swain, former Vol wide receiver and the host of the Swain Event. Make sure you hit him up on Twitter at Swain Event. Must follow. Appreciate you as always, man. Glad you and the family are well.
Hey, man, thank you, man. Enjoy your run without your shirt with Ed Orgeron.
Hey, man, my shirt's staying on. I know my limitations. I'm not a jack 58-year-old. I know my limitations. Thanks, man. I'll see you.
See you, man.
All right, man. That's Jayson Swain. It's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, go around the SEC, a little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes. We'll talk some Hoot Out with Larry Holder 29 minutes from right now. Stick around, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. For more than 60 years now, people in the greater Baton Rouge area have been beautifying their outdoor spaces thanks to Clegg's. From selling flowers on the bed of a pickup truck back 60 years ago to now the largest garden center in Louisiana. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, including the garden center on Greenwell Springs. No matter which of the 4 you walk into, you will see full greenhouses with gorgeous flowers. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed as you entertain guests, or quite honestly, just because if you're quarantining and you're not going out, you're looking for something to do outside, go get in your yard and just plant something. You're not sure what to plant? That's okay. The people at Clegg's can help you. Take a picture of your yard and say, this is what I'm working with. What would look good? And they can give you advice. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, partner with True Value Hardware stores so they can help you out there as well. Go see our friends today at Clegg's Nursery.
Here at Corval Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process. We buy your car at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, Tommy Tuberville won again in Alabama. He beat former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions in the Alabama Republican Senate runoff. Tuberville's 65 years old. So he is now positioned to challenge Democratic U.S. Senator Doug Jones for the election coming up this November. And Republicans see this as an opportunity to steal a seat in the Senate, maybe a realistic opportunity there, if Tuberville can beat the incumbent Democratic Senator Doug Jones. So that's wild, man. 21 seasons as a head football coach, Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas Tech, and then, of course, finished up at Cincinnati, moved back to the state of Alabama, announced his candidacy in April of 2019 when he was working as a college football analyst for ESPN. And now Tommy Tuberville is one step away from the United States Senate if he can win the election in November. The funniest part is there were a lot of voting heat maps, right? And they were showing which counties in Alabama voted for Tommy Tuberville and which counties didn't, voted for Jeff Sessions. And not surprisingly, the Tuscaloosa voted for Jeff Sessions. Like, how in the world can you not get, like, in what is a pretty heavily Republican state, I would assume, they still couldn't get past the fact that he was the Auburn coach, and in Tuscaloosa, Jeff Sessions, not only did he win, Jeff Sessions boat raced Tommy Tuberville in Tuscaloosa. Jeff Sessions got 61% of the vote. Is it, Brain, you're more of a political guy than I am. Is there anything of merit beyond the fact that they just were not voting for the former Auburn coach?
I think they had to see some polling ahead of time to know that the vote wouldn't matter. The Iron Bowl can't mean that much, can it?
I was like, what if there was, here's the whole state. Paul, can you show this? So Tuscaloosa is like, the pink spot, like top left, and they went on the whole state voted for Tuberville except Tuscaloosa. It's patently absurd. But the one thing I remember, if you remember back to 2011, of course, and I don't mean to bring back that memory, but of course in 2011 there was also the tornado that ripped through the state of Alabama and was devastating in Tuscaloosa. And that was a time where really the entire state kind of came together. And I'm curious how, if you're Tommy Tuberville, do you make that that parallel? Like, not to compare the two, but just to say, like, you can for a day anyway, like, put aside our differences for a greater good. Or not. Or not. Tuscaloosa. Now, I guess the really big test will be what happens when the election takes place in November. Will Tuscaloosa vote for? Like, this is the one. Paul, show this. So if you're watching, Tuberville is green, Sessions is red, and then there were a couple of other candidates that didn't really vote. Like, the whole state is green for Tuberville except Tuscaloosa and some parts to the south. Oh, my God. 6 in a row. They never forgot. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
A Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
So with a lot of uncertainty about this college football season, one thing appears certain: Florida and Georgia are still going to play in Jacksonville. That according to Athletics Director, Florida AD Scott Strickland, who said that possibility of moving that game has not even come up between the two schools. Strickland also reiterated the Florida-Florida State game will be played if there's a season, even if one or both schools play a schedule of all conference games. Again, earmark that. The Florida AD saying Florida and Florida State will play regardless, even if they go to a conference, the league goes to a conference-only schedule.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Same said for South Carolina AD Ray Tanner. Did an interview with Sports Talk South Carolina Tuesday night, and he said South Carolina is going to work to keep its game with Clemson if a season is played. Tanner said he has had conversations with Clemson AD Dan Radakovich and said he's not even thinking in terms of cancellation, but instead postponement of the game if the fall season proves not possible. South Carolina and Clemson have played every year since 1909.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama's added a second four-star inside linebacker to its 2021 recruiting class. Kendrick Blackshire, top-ranked inside linebacker in Texas. He's committed to Alabama. LSU and A&M were the other two finalists. 6'2", 245. He's the seventh best inside linebacker, ranked 152 overall for the class of 2021. He becomes the 12th commit for Alabama. Bama now has commits from two of the top 7 linebackers in the class of 2021.
The Auburn Tigers.
And one of Auburn's backup wide receivers leaving the program, Zach Farrar, who joined Auburn last year as a grad transfer. He's entered the portal. It will be his 5th school in 5 years. Started at Oklahoma, went to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, then Youngstown State, Auburn, and wherever he will play his 5th and final season of college football. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, so after further review, that is interesting. File that away as we continue to talk about possibilities. Remember, some leagues are talking about conference-only schedules, but what I've continued to reiterate over and over again is that this is going to not be a league-by-league decision. This is going to be a school-by-school decision made by the presidents of those universities. Essentially, you had the Florida AD say, even if our leagues go to conference only, we're still playing Florida State because nobody can tell them not to. The Clemson AD said, even if we go to conference only or they go to conference only, we're still playing Clemson because nobody can tell us not to. That's the reality. There is, like, every school has its own autonomy within college football. So that's the most perplexing thing, is that even if it, I'll tell you something else that continues to resonate with me. Something Stephanie Remp said yesterday in AFR. She said, we still have no good explanation as to why the Big Ten and Pac-12 went to conference only. Like, they've not gotten that explanation of what the benefit is of doing that. So it doesn't seem like the SEC is looking to follow suit. It's pretty clear that the ACC and the Big 12 don't think so either. I think a more realistic scenario is that the Big Ten and Pac-12 reverse those decisions and ultimately play their non-conference games if and when it proves possible. All right, so after further review, let's talk some bourbon next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's what you get at Insurance Network of Louisiana. Got an email yesterday from a listener named Bill who said, hey, Matt, what's that insurance company you always talk about that shops for better rates against companies like Liberty Mutual, which he put parenthetically, which I currently have. Well, it's Insurance Network of Louisiana, and the process is simple, y'all. You call Insurance Network of Louisiana or you log onto their website, lainsurance.net. Click quotes at the top of the page, or over the phone, you give them some information about your current coverage, what type of auto, home policy you have, and then they go shop. I mean, think of it like if you're a sports star and you hire your agent, would you hire an agent that could only negotiate with one team or an agent that can negotiate with every team to get you the best deal? That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Let other companies compete for your business. 293-0450.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of O.C. Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hi, this is Chance Inman, President and Chief Operating Officer for Janney King Gulf Coast. Here are some ways to protect yourself and those around you from the coronavirus. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover coughs and sneezes with your elbow. Disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly. Use non-contact methods for greeting others. And avoid touching your face. Following these steps, as well as social distancing, should help all of us stay healthy.
Janney King, the king of clean.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Well, it happened. I'll talk to Taylor in just a quick second, but I tweeted over the weekend the picture of the Burrow Road sign on Highland Road just south of LSU Avenue. Glorious, a beautiful sign, a new street, Burrow Road in Baton Rouge. Well, shout out to Andy McLean on Twitter at Magister McLean, who tweeted, well, it's gone. Stood in the same spot that I did on Highland Road, just south of LSU Avenue, the Burrow Road street sign, already gone. The one common comment that I got over and over and over again from people after I posted that was, wonder how many times that's going to be stolen. And I was a little embarrassed because college-age Matt Moscona would have absolutely been eyeing that from the second it went up, and I would have had one in my home. There's no question. 38-year-old Matt Moscona did not even consider the notion of stealing the Burrow Road sign, but it's already been stolen. And I don't know why they would even bother replacing it, because they're just going to replace it to then again have it stolen again. It's just gone forever.
And not even the decency to put the Highland Road part back.
They took both. Yes, they took both Highland and Burrow Road. Taylor Calandro's with us. Little Bourbon Dictionary. What's up, man?
Not much, Matt. What's up?
Would you steal the Borough Road sign if given the opportunity?
100%. I'm 31 years old, so I'm still not old yet. So yeah, I'd steal it. Sure.
Well, I don't think I'm old either, but I mean, it's just
38.
maybe it's just life experiences that is just far enough removed from the time when I would go steal things.
No, I would not steal the road sign. Is that a real question?
Yeah.
No, hell no, I would not steal a road sign.
At any point in your life, would you have stolen the road sign?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. That's my point.
Yeah.
When do you think the breaking point is when you'll no longer steal a road sign?
Man, that you're asking people to be reasonable.
All right, I'm going to tell you the last time that I stole something like that. I remember it vividly. It was the summer of 2009. So I graduated LSU in 04. So I was 27, I guess.
That's still too old to do that.
Well, I did it.
What did you steal?
I will not tell you that. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. I will tell you that privately. But if I did tell you that, when I tell you what it is that I took, you will be. Trust me when I tell you, you will be thoroughly amazed that I have in my possession. Which, by the way, I can in no way. There is no possible way for me to validate what it is that I have. It's impossible. But I know I have it. Is my point.
Did we storm the field in 09? I can't remember.
No.
We didn't? Okay. I was just throwing that out.
But there was a significant sporting milestone for LSU athletics in 2009. And I have something that coincides with that.
Did LSU win the World Series in 09?
They did win the World Series in 09. And
Okay.
I have something that coincides with that, but I will absolutely not incriminate myself beyond that any further. All right, hey, last week we went through a list. Rolling Stone magazine put out a list of 10 new whiskeys that you have to try, and you pointed out one that you really enjoyed or that you thought a lot of, and that became a drop that one brain doesn't know. But you like chicken cock.
Yeah, chicken cock. Chicken cock.
I tweeted the video. A lot of people like it.
We're going to do this again this week?
We'll probably heretofore, but we got Musso's not here anymore, so Brain's here, so he has no clue, so he doesn't have the drop ready. But I should have told him.
Jacob Hester sent me a private message on Twitter after I got off the radio and was just absolutely appalled by the disgustingness of that interview.
Well, you said you like chicken cock, basically. Anyway, so I got I want to ask you about another one on the list, but also a question from Rusty, who emailed me, said, Matt, could you please ask Taylor about True Blue 100 whiskey, the availability in Louisiana? He said that brand is available, but not True Blue 100. What can you tell us about that? What is that? What can you tell us?
So Balcones is out of Texas. It's a really small distillery. We get some of their stuff. I've tried some of their stuff. I have not heard of True Blue. Some of their stuff's actually pretty solid. I've tried, I think it was a smoked whiskey they did, a mesquite smoked whiskey. I can't remember. So like a year or so ago, it was different. I'm not a huge fan of the smoked whiskey. I've had smoked beers and stuff like that. It was different. It was different. It was definitely a palate ruiner. So,
what do you mean? What do you mean a palate ruiner?
You drink it and you can't taste anything else for the rest of the night.
It's that hot?
It wasn't hot. It was just overwhelming smoke. Just that mesquite. I think it was mesquite. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah. But I have had some other stuff from them that's been pretty solid. So
it's I'm looking at here, Balcones Texas Blue Corn Bourbon. What's the story behind that? Is this just another sort of like micro distillery that's popped up and kind of crowded the market to try to capitalize on the bourbon craze?
Balcones sells pretty well.
Okay.
I am not super familiar with the distillery itself. I'm not really sure where they're based out of in Texas. Is it Austin?
I have no idea, man. I'm just asking the question because somebody asked it of you.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it because I haven't tried it or heard of it. So it like I said, it's a very small distillery.
How often do you get it?
We get some of their products. I don't even know what we have right now. But it's that's one of those things that it's just such a small distillery nothing's really like definite with them. It's weird.
We spent so much time talking about chicken cock and the Burrow sign that I literally have 30 seconds left. I wanted to talk to you about Old Tub. I scored a bottle last week. Do you have it at Calandro's?
We do have it. It's $20. I haven't tried it.
Amazing.
But
For $18-20, I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment to spend that and get the product you do.
Yeah, from what I've heard, that's all I've heard.
Yeah.
$20 is not a hard leap to just try.
Oh, man, it's incredible. All right,
Yeah.
Get on by Calandro's, either location in Baton Rouge, East Taylor, Calandro. Hit them straight, man.
All right, Matt, thanks.
We'll see you. This is AFR. Larry Holder joins us next.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Check out our friends over at GMFS Mortgage. What a time right now. I'm going to keep hammering this message because it's just the thing that needs to be top of mind right now. With interest rates at historically low levels, this is the time to inquire about refinancing your mortgage. If your interest rate is above a 4, or if you haven't shopped recently enough to know what your interest rate is, my goodness, please, please, please get in touch with a local loan officer nearest you at gmfsmortgage.com. They got offices all over the state. They're our state's largest local lender, and they will do a magnificent job for you just like they did for me. gmfsmortgage.com. Get in touch with the local loan officer. See if they can refinance your mortgage to help lower your monthly mortgage payment. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
Hour 2 of AFR coming your way in just a little bit. Time for a quick Sports Center update. Penny Hardaway lands a big get. Moussa Cisse commits to Memphis. The number 24 prospect in ESPN's class of 2020 picked Memphis over Kentucky, Florida State, Georgia, Georgetown, and yes, LSU. Titans running back Derrick Henry is good to go for a $50 million contract. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting it's a 4-year deal with $25.5 million guaranteed. The Titans have confirmed a deal's been reached, but would not reveal details. No deal, by the way, for Dak Prescott. We are 1 week away from Pelicans basketball. I know the games that count don't start till the 30th, but 1 week from tonight, they will scrimmage against the Nets. It will be televised. Hour 2 of it will be televised. Hour 2 of AFR is coming your way right now.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And the still fumbling brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
You'll get it.
I don't like this fade out stuff. If I hit a button, I want it to happen.
He's a foggy brain. That's what it is. Brain's foggy. You need to get your brain out of the clouds.
I'm working on that rain. It's helping.
Okay. Just chug it if that's going to help. You want a funnel? Whatever we... There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Go. 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 The brain just chugged a rain energy drink. For those listening who couldn't see it, he just chugged a rain energy drink. Maybe eventually, Brain, you'll figure out how to play the After Further Review theme. Right. That's it. But how we're supposed to play it.
It's my first Wednesday.
Got it. Your first Wednesday after 2 years of Wednesdays on the show.
There was a year of Wednesdays where I wasn't here, though.
Fair enough. All right. The NFL apparently has scheduled a meeting among the owners to discuss the start of training camp. Larry Holder, who covers the Saints for theathletic.com/New Orleans, good enough to join us to talk about that, and a piece he has up right now about Saints offensive line, which is obviously undergoing a bit of a shift. Larry, appreciate the time as always, man. How are you?
I'm good, Matthew. It's good to hear the brain calling me again. He never forgot my number, even though he is a little bit of bumbling. I've got to admit it, as a loyal listener and watcher.
Well, I appreciate you listening and watching, and you know what? It is cumbersome, but anytime you go through that transition, there's going to be some little hiccups, but you just, you make them through. That's all. But eventually I'll just fire Brain like I always do. So.
But he's always coming back.
He does keep coming back. Like that X that he's a clinger. It's like a stage 4 clinger. You just can't get rid of the guy. Let's talk about this news from today. The NFL has scheduled a Friday owners meeting to discuss the start of camp. Do we have any idea what's going to come of this?
Look, we see that the NFL and the Players Union have been going back and forth, volleying, basically negotiating pay and standards as far as health and safety, dealing with COVID-19, of course, because, look, we're only about a week away from, actually less than that, for where rookies would be able to report, because the rookies are always able to report a week before, say, the veterans would be. So we're creeping up on that time, and they still don't have a uniform policy of pay and how training camp's going to be and even how the season's going to look. So I'm sure that is first and foremost, or might be the complete docket. And so I'm wondering how much decisions will be made tomorrow. I'm sure people are going to be wondering. We've seen players complain on Twitter already that possibly they might be tested every day, and they might not be down with that. But that's something that, look, if they want to play football and want it to be safe, that might be a precaution that they're going to have to take. So, yeah, I'm curious to see
what comes about of this meeting. And there might not be decisions that are totally made. We might have to push this thing just kind of like we're seeing college sports pushing a week or two. Maybe we see the NFL push a week or two because they don't have a consensus on what they want to do yet.
It seems like the consensus in the NFL, Larry, is that they're going to start on time. The question is, will there be fans? At what capacity? And different venues are making different decisions. Is the conversation in NFL circles that an on-time start may be in jeopardy?
I think that's something that maybe is not being openly discussed in big-time fashion, but I'm sure it's somewhere within the realm of possibility that might happen. And here's the thing, because I jump back and forth from discussing college sports and where that stands and, of course, the NFL, and I'm far more convinced that the NFL would have a full season as opposed to college football. And I think the NFL would be in a better position for testing and to absorb the hit of no fans, and so they can go forward even without a preseason, which I know you and me have discussed probably the last time I was on. Mm-hmm. But, it's something that I'm sure has to be part of that. And look, even when maybe it was a month ago, we hear all the news kind of circling around, where when the NFL made the schedule that they might push the first 4 games to the back end, so that maybe that they can shift this thing. So, that is probably something that they have to look at and consider really the trends around the country, because you are having teams traveling all over the country as opposed to an NBA bubble where they're all centralized.
He's on Twitter at Larry Holder. TheAthletic.com/New Orleans is where you can find his work. And his latest piece, which is up right now, is about the Saints' offensive line. And the headline reads, "Why the Saints Revamped Their Offensive Line and What Still Needs to Improve." Larry, is it really fair to say they revamped the offensive line when you basically just move one guy out?
Well, you drafted someone else, and you're potentially moving another player to another position. So I would think you would look at the center and the guard spots, and 2 out of 4, I'd say that's a revamp. And you secured Andres Pete, but I would look at it in this way, and it's really displayed in the piece about where the issues came along the offensive line. It was primarily up the middle. Even though, Teron Armstead did not have as good of a season in 2019 as he did in 2018. Ryan Ramczyk was pretty steady in both years. But really up the middle, and you can point to Pete, you can point to Larry Warford, which is really dramatic, his drop-off. But also, look, people kept asking me, well, Eric McCoy, he had such a good rookie season, why would you move him? Well, if you compare what Eric McCoy did his rookie season to Max Unger's final season, McCoy wasn't as good as Unger, which is expected, but that was Unger's worst year, admittedly, with the Saints, and McCoy's year was a little bit worse than that. And so I feel like the Saints, if they're going to make some shifts, get rid of the guy who had a real drop-off in Larry Warford, bring in the best possible center in Cesar Ruiz, and shift Eric McCoy over. So, look, I'm not saying it's a total renovation, but it's revamped. I think it's fair to call it that.
I'm not disagreeing. I just wanted sort of the explanation there. I certainly think, Larry, that if Warford shifts to guard and Ruiz plays center, now you've got a very legitimate conversation. Do you think obviously they haven't stepped on the field, so it's like we can't even look at rookie minicamp to make any determination, but like, would you be comfortable putting some type of percentage or confidence points on how you think that works with Ruiz and McCoy when games start?
At least McCoy had an OTA and a mini camp to get started with Drew Brees. I'm assuming Cesar Ruiz has not worked with Drew Brees at all yet. And so that is certainly something that the Saints are going to have to juggle and not have a lot of time to really see if they want Ruiz at center and move McCoy, or make sure you keep McCoy at center and then play Ruiz at guard at a position where he hasn't really played in a few years and admittedly did not play well when he was at Michigan. He felt far more comfortable at center. And I just look at it in this sense. If you're taking Ruiz in the first round and you took McCoy in the second, you probably have a higher grade at Ruiz at center than you do McCoy at that time. So that's why I keep looking at it. But it is definitely not in stone. I think they need to, as much as they can with the structure of practice, which we don't know, and we don't know if there's going to be any preseason games to get even padded things against an opponent. But, ultimately they would really want Ruiz at center, McCoy at guard. But it is definitely written right now in like erasable marker or pencil because I don't think they really know right now.
Do you think that if, and I know we're playing hypotheticals, but you brought up an interesting point that McCoy started as a rookie, but he did have minicamp and OTAs, and he had a full offseason, which Ruiz clearly will not have. So if they determine from jump that they're better suited leaving McCoy at center, do you think that means Nick Easton starts at right guard ahead of Ruiz?
I would doubt it.
Really?
I think Ruiz comes in and plays. Yeah, I just think that your first-round pick, someone on the offensive line, you get rid of Larry Warford. Look, if they liked Nick Easton enough, they would have had him there, and then maybe they would have drafted a guard later in the draft. So the fact that they went so high with Ruiz, plug and play now, just like McCoy. I mean, second-round pick, plug and play right now. And so, I think Easton. Well, you might be bringing up, if they don't have camp and this, that, and the other, Easton might know the offense a little bit better. I mean, is it a possibility? Sure, but I'd be surprised if that would be the case.
But McCoy was a bit out of necessity, right? Because you had Max Unger very abruptly retire, and there wasn't much left on the free agent market. I mean, they went and signed Nick Easton really potentially as a replacement for Unger, and then McCoy won the job, and Easton sort of regressed. But then Easton, when he got his chance, played pretty well last year. But I guess I also look at it like this. I'd love your thoughts on this. When people bring up Ryan Ramczyk, well, they drafted Ramczyk in round 1, but he wasn't going to start as a rookie. I mean, that he only started because Zach Strief got injured. They drafted him because he thought he was best. He was great value there at the end of round 1 at that position, and he's become sensational. But he wasn't drafted with the thought of starting day 1.
Oh, no, he wasn't. But also, if you remember, when they signed Nick Easton last offseason, Sean Payton was saying publicly, he's our center. And he was saying that in late March at owners' meetings and things like that. And so they brought in Nick Easton and thought he could be a starter. So, but I do think, though, that when they saw McCoy, all right, they liked what they saw in him and felt confident in him. And look, Easton struggled in training camp last year where I thought, boy, he might actually get cut. And obviously he didn't. And when he had to play in a pinch, he was actually pretty solid. But, yeah, look, it's I'd put it in the same boat as, like, look, when you drafted McCoy, and Sean Payton's talking about Easton, and once they got McCoy in, it was McCoy's job from, like, basically day 2, I mean, essentially. So I just look at Easton as he's their number 6 guy, swing tackle, playing in a pinch, but you bringing in Ruiz, you're bringing him into play right now.
Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans, why the Saints revamped their offensive line, which still needs to improve. That's the piece that's up right now. Before you run, you did also reference some metrics at the end of your piece about in sort of deep diving in the offensive line from 2019. Give me a nugget, something that really stood out to you in all the metrics that you sort of dissected.
How drastic of a drop-off Larry Warford underwent from 2018 to 2019. And it's a metric that I used from Sports Info Solutions, and it was basically a blown block percentage. And Warford's blown block percentage in run blocking and pass protection jumped significantly, as in doubled on each. He doubled the total of missed blocks in the run game and doubled his missed blocks in the pass game in 2019 than he did in 2018. Really apparent why they moved on from him. And I also look at it as, look, when you look at Andres Pete and his pass protection last year, your eyes didn't deceive you. It was really a struggle. But he did not struggle as much in the run game. So basically the Saints took the lesser of two evils and yet still overpaid Andres Pete. But that's just what it is.
Didn't have options, man. It was a weak guard market. You needed a guard. And he's also your backup left tackle, right? I mean, That's
a part of it.
Like it's got to be a part of it because Armstead's been so injury prone.
Yeah, absolutely. And the drop off they feel like is more injury prone than Warford, where it was just a complete drop off. Like Warford's strength was the run game, and he was really bad. Like one of the worst guards in the league in blown blocks as a guard. It was a dramatic drop off. So, and then you add that to it. The Saints were 4 days into free agency, got held up. Okay, I guess we got to pay Andres Pete, and so that's what they did. And look, we've seen injuries to Teron Armstead. Andres Pete is easily your next best option at left tackle if there's an injury to Armstead.
If at what age would you be okay stealing the Borough Road sign off of Highland Road? What would have been your what would have been your cutoff?
I heard this conversation. I would say 30. Okay.
Is that just arbitrary, or did something happen in your life at 30?
Oh, I got married at 29.
Okay.
So I would have given it a year into my marriage where I'm sure stupidity like that would not be well, because where would I hide it? I'd have to bring it home, and so I'd probably get yelled at.
Well, say it's not like it's going to the den, honey. It's going to my office. What of it?
Look, she is a civic-minded person, far more civic-minded than me, and so that's we clash in those issues.
When was the last time you stole something like that?
Last time I stole something like that? Oh my gosh! Oh, that's hard to say.
Why is it hard to say?
So
you just can't
it
think?
hasn't been that recent. I don't think that totally stole. I could tell you this: that you remember, say in Destin, the hot bar AJ's.
Okay.
They had the big anchor out front.
Totally.
At one point.
Yeah, 100%.
We stole it, the whole anchor.
Good. How old were you?
I was in early. I must have been college years.
Oh,
so.
see that I think everybody's done some of that. I would put my collection of stolen signs and things like that among anybody's best of, but that's been many years now.
Right. So that's the thing. I think we're allowed to say 20 years ago we did this.
Yeah. Statute of limitations. Come get me.
Unless we stole like CIA secrets or something, and then
right.
We might be in trouble.
These were not CIA secrets. These were just like, signs.
We didn't even hide it. We just put it in my friend's camp and just put it in the front yard and like, here it is. So
anybody
didn't even hide it.
I had a house with two other guys, and anybody that would have walked in our house be like, is your entire decor you just walk around Baton Rouge and just steal things? Kind of. My buddy was a klepto, and I was sort of an accomplice, and it kind of worked out that way.
I mean, I was in Acacia at LSU. That's a band of kleptos in my day. Trust me.
He's Larry Holder on Twitter, @LarryHolder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Thank you, Larry.
Bye, Matthew. See you, buddy.
We'll see you. This is After Further Review presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
Think real estate? Think Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Get onto the website. Every home listed by every company all in one place. Agent225.com. Tap our listings at the top of the page, and you'll see every listing. Here's one new on the site today. Chapel Hill Drive in Denham. 167.9, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It doesn't matter, I tell you all the time, if it's a $100,000 house or $100 million house. Darren has a way of treating you like you're his only listing. Another one on Fig Drive in Denham for $215. Here's one in Walker for $264.9. Beautiful home on Three Lakes Drive, a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,800-square-foot home. A Director Drive in Baton Rouge for $229.9, a 4.2. I told you, it doesn't matter what part of town you're in. If you need to sell your home, you need to call Darren James. Think real estate. Think Darren James. 335-7666. 335-7666. Think real estate? Think Darren James.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 for only $30,400 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. All this game up in my pocket. Bet that you can't stop it. You know that I got it.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Lincoln Riley updating his thoughts on the upcoming college football season. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. I tell you often, be leery of being a headline reader. This is another reason why. Earlier today, the Los Angeles Times tweeted that the Rose Bowl has been canceled. The problem is they left out one key word. The Rose Bowl parade has been canceled, as in the Parade of Roses, the thing that happens on New Year's Day and has since 1891, only being canceled during World War II, which is something we're hearing kind of familiar now. The Rose Bowl parade has been canceled. They deleted the initial tweet, the Los Angeles Times did, and then went back and corrected it and said, blame the coronavirus. The Rose Parade has been canceled. But in any event, again, don't be a headline reader. And I'll say this as well. It's another indicator of what we saw a week ago, where we got that headline that said ACC has suspended all fall sports until September the 1st. Remember that? We saw that headline last week, and you thought, oh, my God, so they're not going to practice football, and Trevor Lawrence and Clemson and ACC. And then you click the article and you read, and it says, except football. Is anybody doing backflips or in mass hysteria because volleyball and soccer? And what are some other fall sports? Does anybody know?
Cross country was the other one to get hit at LSU.
Terrific. So that's not happening in the fall. But football is continuing. Don't be a headline reader, y'all. Here's the release from the Parade of Roses. Quote, we continue to work with the college football playoff and our collegiate partners to explore what this year's college football season will look like amidst COVID-19 and social distancing guidelines. While the safety and well-being of student-athletes, university personnel, and fans is our top priority, we remain hopeful that the granddaddy of them all will take place on New Year's Day. So, no parade, but still could continue with the college football game on New Year's Day. Follow the money. Don't be a headline reader. I feel like I should get that tattooed on my arm. Maybe I would say on my forehead, but I'm not going to get a tattoo on my forehead. Would you ever get a tattoo on your forehead?
No.
Thank you, Brain. Oklahoma coach Lincoln Riley has said he's also remaining confident that there will be a college football season. And remember, Lincoln Riley was the one who, a couple months back, drew some headlines because in the return to play, as you were seeing statements from athletic directors and head coaches, or university presidents, rather, about student-athletes returning to campus, that was an odd one because it was the head coach that released the statement about what Oklahoma's policy would be. And he used some very colorful language when describing schools that were returning. As he alluded to, you only get one chance to do it right, whatever. Well, now Riley's saying, quote, I just can't imagine a scenario where we don't explore every option to play. He has been one of the advocates for a spring football season, saying give medical professionals the longest runway possible to find a workable plan. If that means moving to spring, move it to spring. But he noted that the financial health of the schools and athletic departments surrounding communities are so dependent on college football. He said it's incumbent on programs to make necessary concessions to make a season work if at all possible. Quote, the health and safety is the most important thing, and that's the determining factor. If we can't do it, we can't do it. But if we can, college football is so important to these communities, these universities, these athletes, not just football athletes, but college football affects every athlete on campus. It's a big, big deal. It's not more important than health. But if we can get it to a safe place, we got to find a way to get it done whenever and however. And that has been the very familiar chorus from everybody around college football, is that they're trying to find a way to get the season played. But where we started the show today, in case if you missed it, is with the latest information today from Ed Orgeron's meeting with the vice president yesterday and Greg Sankey, a guest on Outkick the Coverage this morning with Clay Travis, where he said that a university president in the SEC has told him he's confident and comfortable moving forward and proceeding with games because the COVID-19 testing within the league has worked very well. You talk about 14 leagues with 14 member institutions with 108 football players plus staff members. You're talking about around 2,000 people that are being routinely tested within Southeastern Conference football programs collectively, cumulatively. And he said you have single-digit positive tests, the number close to zero right now. And what that's evidence to the powers that be in the SEC seems to be saying we can get a hold of this. Like we have a hold on our protocols, our testing, and just like every other sport that's continuing to play, playing the sport isn't the major risk. It's why you're seeing these sports play and continue on because they've all found protocols that have worked to allow their sports to continue to happen, be it soccer or basketball or Major League Baseball coming back or MMA or boxing or golf. They're all proceeding. NASCAR and college football looks like it's heading in that direction as well. Will it be a delayed start? We'll wait and see. But add Lincoln Riley to the pile of people that think you've got to find a way to make the season happen. And what seems very clear today is you've got the Big Ten and the Pac-12 sort of aligned with their releases about not playing or playing conference-only schedules. Meanwhile, you got the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC that are like, I'm not so sure about that. And in large part, I mean, you heard Jason Swain on in Hour 1, former Tennessee wide receiver, does radio in Knoxville. Tennessee scheduled to play Oklahoma. That's an SEC Big 12. LSU scheduled to play Texas, SEC Big 12. Think about all the traditional non-conference games between SEC and ACC teams. Scott Strickland, the AD at Florida, said today, if we play a season, we're playing Florida State. Regardless of if the SEC or ACC goes conference only, we're still playing Florida State. Ray Tanner at South Carolina said the same thing about South Carolina Clemson. You've got, remember, Louisville and Kentucky and Georgia Tech. You've got SEC, ACC traditional rivalries that happen that it appears are going to happen regardless of what leagues say about conference only. So I'll continue to say that the more this happens, if the SEC, ACC, Big 12 find a way to push forward with a full schedule, I think it's more likely the Big 10 and the Pac-12 acquiesce, because you know the SEC champion is going to make a playoff. You know Clemson, if undefeated, is going to be in. And Oklahoma has been a participant each year because they play in a weak conference where they went out and they're in. So it's hard to imagine the Big 10 and the Pac-12 potentially leaving themselves vulnerable in a championship scenario if the other three leagues in the Power 5 find a way to play a full schedule, however that might look. We're going to keep following it. Again, I'm doing my best each day to advance the story as it is, so we're not having the same exact conversation every day. But as there is new information we're sharing, we're going to share it, and certainly the perspectives of the powers that be are worth sharing. We'll continue to do that. All right, it's after further review. One storyline earlier this week that gained an awful lot of attention was when LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine was at the Louisiana State Capitol, and he talked about the Phase 4 opening being a necessity for high school football to be played this fall. A lot of people reacted to that. However, I was perplexed because that's not new. That's been the LHSAA's plan all along since June. It's been 8 weeks that's been their plan. Eric Held is the president of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association. He's going to join us next to give us some answers about that whole process. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, online at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. All of the resources available at the Baton Rouge General Hospital, doing an amazing job of keeping our community safe amid COVID-19 and continuing to get us back online. Virtual visits are now available at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You can see a healthcare provider without ever leaving your home. The emergency room at the Mid-City location, I'll continue to remind you, is now reopened. So if you are in North Baton Rouge or in Central in that area, certainly the Mid-City location is a great option for you with their ER reopened again. It is the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. They're also finding ways to keep you safe as best they can with things like the Surgery Fast Pass. If you're having an elective procedure, you can have a touchless experience prior to surgery, and the Baton Rouge General mobile app is a fantastic way to get the info you need. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Eric Held is the director of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes as the Coaches Convention is going virtual this year. But there's also a ton of questions around high school football and really all high school sports. Eric, what's up, man? Thanks for the time.
Not much, Matt. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, man. First of all, when did you all make the decision to go virtual on the convention this year?
Matt made the decision back in May. Our executive committee of the LHSCA, the Louisiana High School Coaches Association, made that decision collectively and unanimously to move it from the Crown Plaza. Everybody was excited for it to get back to Baton Rouge, back in its normal spot on the calendar near the end of July and at the Crown Plaza here on Constitution. And it was unfortunate we had to cancel because everyone was looking to coming back and being able to rub elbows and network and see people and friends that they see sometimes once a year at the convention. So it was unfortunate that it happened to the Crown Plaza because their staff does such a great job hosting us and with our annual convention for the LHSAA as well. And just, it was tough to take those personal relationships away. But we have a great option out there, having it virtual. And over the quarantine time, a lot of coaches out there on webinars, on Zoom clinics, and kind of said at the end of March, early May, Matt, that if we have to go that route, hopefully we don't, but if we do, be prepared. And found a great platform with the CoachTube and coachesclinic.com people, and they do a great job.
You're going to have 130 speakers. How in the world do you fit 130 speakers into this program?
Sure. So there are about 7 rooms every day. The first 3 days is the heaviest load days where we have 7 rooms, and Tuesday and Wednesday we have 8 rooms that will be going on at the same time for a few of the sessions. And just out there to give our coaches and athletic directors and administrators as good a virtual experience as possible with the in-person being canceled. With it going virtual, it allows you to stretch it out a little more, and your clinic spot in the audience, instead of it being in a conference room at the Crown Plaza, can be anywhere, at home, in your office, in your car, wherever. So it's convenient. There's a replay option for 72 hours for all of our Coaches Association members, and then they have a lifetime option that they can purchase on there as well. But because they're members, they are admitted for free for live sessions.
Who can watch or participate?
Sure, anybody can. So it's open to it's directed to our LHSCA members. Like I said, our coaches make up the largest portion of our membership, our athletic directors as well, and administrators and superintendents, anyone that has an LHSCA member card is eligible to get the best benefits, but anybody. So let's say Gordy Rush wants to watch Coach O and the 3 LSU coaches, and Beth Torina with softball, and Dee Bro with gymnastics, Will Wade and Nikki Fargas. Well, we should charge him about $1,000, right? But we're not. But
he'll never pay. He'll try to barter it and not buy me new chairs.
Sure, and we'll get a hair restoration ad maybe, because I probably need that, but I'm not going to go that route.
Embrace it.
Yeah, but Gordy could go on there and click on the website in the upper right-hand corner, lhsca.coachesclinic.com, and there's an option there. So it's directed at our coaches, our members, but anyone out there can come on and purchase a ticket, which would give them a lifetime access option where they can be driven to CoachTube, and there's thousands of videos there if anyone out there is interested in watching.
lhsca.coachesclinic.com is the website. We pulled it up if you're watching. There it is right there. lhsca.coachesclinic.com if you're interested. It's amazing, man. The list, I'm looking at Ed Orgeron and Tom Herman and Lincoln Riley, and you mentioned Beth Torina and Will Wade. I mean, how did you end up landing this roster of speakers?
Real interesting, just from being in the coaching business for 25 years, just being able to kind of connect with coaches and being on some great staffs and being in the right place at the right time, really, where I was blessed to be, where athletes were recruited, and just connecting with those guys, seeing them speak at clinics around the country or coming into the LHSCA clinic or the LSU clinic, and just staying in touch with those guys, and then reaching out to coaches who can get in touch with a coach like a Lincoln Riley or a Tom Herman. The LSU staff, they're tremendous every year. Whenever we need them, they're there for us with anything. This is no different. Coach O is the headliner, but getting a Tom Herman and a Lincoln Riley, they've been gracious enough to put aside their busy schedule to speak. And our coaches are excited about the lineup. And as you said, it's a star-studded lineup. Every sport is represented for the first time at the clinic. And like I said, the list is endless when it comes to it being a who's who.
So I just tweeted the link for those that are interested. Just go follow me on Twitter at Matt Moscona, and you'll see the link right there. Again, it's this Monday. So coming up this Monday, the Louisiana High School Coaches Association, the clinic's going virtual, and the list of speakers is absolutely incredible. Before you run, I got a couple for you, and I like your clarification. Earlier this week, it kind of became headline news about Louisiana high school football not being able to play until the state got into Phase 4. Can you please clarify that? Because it was my understanding that was dating back to June, sort of the benchmark all along. So could you just clarify there?
Sure, Matt. So kind of in our office, when you have your 3 phases, 1, 2, and 3, with a list of guidelines that were put out by the National Federation of High School Sports Medicine Advisory, which is our SMAC committee, and then the LHSA SMAC, which is headed by Dr. Greg Stewart with Tulane, who's the head of the Return to Play committee for the American Athletic Conference, and he consults with the NFL as well, and just the Department of Health, the Department of Education, and going along and trying to be consistent with the phases that the governor uses, right? And so kind of in our office and kind of within our executive committee and Dr. Stewart, just talking about, hey, Phase 1, you can do this. Phase 2, you can do this. Phase 3, you start to look like football. When you're talking about the sport of football, things start to look like football, where at some point you can put shoulder pads on and begin the acclimation process. You're not supposed to have contact at practice, but you can begin the 7-on-7. You can hit the shields, you can hit sleds, you can tackle wheels, you can tackle tackling dummies, hit bags, all of those things. It starts to look like football. It's basically what you're doing during the summer in a normal year, right? After phase 3 is when you get to real football, where you can have contact, where you can tackle, where you can block, and you can scrimmage an opponent, and then you can play games versus opponents. So once you get out of phase 3, that's when football begins to look like real football as we know it, right? So Mr. Bonine used kind of the term that we use around here in the office, phase 4, because for us, it's the next phase after phase 3. So we knew what he was talking about, understand the confusion. As he said the next day to the media, hey, I understand completely. I should have said the phase after phase 3, or what happens post phase 3. We understood it. There was nothing brand new. You and I talked about it later on, and there was nothing earth-shattering that came out of that. However, understand the confusion with phase 4, because there's not one. It's just kind of inter-office jargon, so to speak.
So is there a and look, we got into this conversation a little bit ago on air, because it appeared as though what Mr. Bonine suggested was that the Superdome dates were locked in. So with respect to football, if the season got pushed, the games would not be made up. Is there any recourse there that schools might have to be able to play a full season if things get delayed?
Sure. So just you mentioned the Superdome. A few weeks ago, Mr. Bonine was quoted in the media as being hard set on a date. Hey, we're going to play. The finals will be here, if that means playing X amount of games. And however, he understands the flexibility that you need because of the times that we're in. All options are out there on the table when it comes to looking at exploring flipping seasons. When it comes to the Dome, the flexibility involved there, where, could you play the week before New Year's Day, which of course is the date for the Sugar Bowl, or could you play the week after? Those are possibilities. You could play in there until the Saints are eliminated from the playoffs, because once the Saints are eliminated, they go back to work on the renovation of the Superdome and pull up the turf. So he's been in discussions all the time with Alan Freeman, who is with the Dome group down there, and Doug Thornton as well. And they do a great job. But I think being flexible during unusual times is very important. He understands that. And that's really important.
That's good to know that there is flexibility therein. We'll certainly stay up to date on that story as well. Eric Held, the director of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here today. We appreciate it, Coach. Thanks as always.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Great job as always.
Thanks, man. We'll be in touch. That is Eric Held. Again, just tweeted out the link for the LHSCA convention, which is coming up Monday. It's open to anybody if you want to go get the link and reserve your spot. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll wrap up Hour 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Ichiban, Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Need dinner plans tonight? We'll make tonight an Ichiban night. If you want sushi or hibachi, Ichiban has been voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225. As a matter of fact, just a couple of weeks ago, the latest Best of 225, the 2020 edition, yet again, best sushi in Baton Rouge, went to Ichiban. It's because they've got the most creative specialty rolls and the freshest fish. You're not going to find it any better than at Ichiban. All of your traditional rolls, but the specialty rolls is what really, when Ichiban gets into their wheelhouse, like the salmon zest roll, snow crab and fresh salmon wrapped in soy paper. It's topped with fresh salmon lemon zest and served with ponzu sauce. It's only at Ichiban. Either location, Essen near Perkins or Airline Highway in Gonzales. Carryout is available at both locations, and you can order online for the Baton Rouge location at ichibanbr.com. So make tonight an Ichiban night.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
offrire un caffè. Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour 2, it's July 15th. Nothing major happening in the world of sports right now in the way of competition, but on this day in the history of mankind, there have been important sports notes, and the Brain is here to tell us about them.
Yes, sir.
I like it. It's a little more lively.
A little more energetic. I actually added the word energetic to my search this time.
Oh, good. Moussa was trying to put us all to sleep with his.
Oh, no,
I think it was intentional, though. Like, he played awful, weepy music, and I think it was certainly intentional.
So I got 3 big ones from today.
Okay.
No shocker, they're all from baseball.
Okay.
It was on this day in 1876, baseball's first official no-hitter happened.
Oh!
Yeah.
Was this in Major League Baseball?
I think so, although you're not going to recognize either of the team names.
What was the year again?
1876.
What year did they start playing Major League Baseball? Let me look that up.
I don't know. It didn't happen today, though.
Well, I'm just wondering, if Major League Baseball started after that,
right?
Then, you know.
Well, it's listed as baseball's first official no-hitter.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's MLB or just, a bunch of guys who decided to start keeping score. George Bradley of the St. Louis Brown Stockings.
Heard of him. Yeah.
No-hit
I was
the
a
Hartford Dark Blues.
Long fan of the long stockings.
The Brown Stockings.
Yeah.
They won that
game.
game.
I was talking about Pippi, my bad.
The same difference. I think that one stems from the other. The Brown Stockings.
Major League Baseball founded in 1903.
Okay. So
the National League, however, the National League was in 1876.
This might have been an NL game.
Okay.
I mean, it was St. Louis and Hartford. St. Louis is currently in the NL. Hartford is not. St. Louis wins 2-0. This day in 1973, California Angel Nolan Ryan got his second no-hitter.
Got him.
Beat the Detroit Tigers 6-0.
Would you look at that? Well, if you're listening, you can't look, but it's a really good picture there of a long, slender Ryan.
This time when I passed on the note to Paul, I made sure to include the word Angels behind it. So
that's right. That's on an Rangers uniform.
It was on this day in 1999 that we saw the inaugural game at the Seattle Mariners Safeco Field. Safeco opened up today. in 1999.
And the only person that cares about that is Trey the Hammer Honoré.
Really?
Well, he's the only Mariners fan I know.
I did not know the Mariners had a fan down here.
Trey the Hammer Honoré.
There it is.
Solo.
I appreciate that. Did that just tell me it was free music?
What the hell is that, Brain?
I don't know. We got 30 seconds.
All right, it's after further review. That was This Day in Sports, brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet Dine-In or Carry Out. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, when we come back after the top of the hour, Davey O'Brien and Doak Walker Award watch lists are out. Let's discuss. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com, 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. When you go to the website, as a matter of fact, there is a really easy-to-use search bar. And also, if you want to live chat with an associate, you can do that at ShawbillsTire.com. You go to the website, bottom right, you'll see the little chat box. You just tap it right there. You choose which location is nearest you, and then you just fill out your question, and then boom, you're live chatting with one of the Shawbills associates to help answer your question. But no matter what it might be that you need, ShawbillsTire.com has got you covered. If you want to buy, if you want to search for maintenance by vehicle, by tire size, by brand, if you want to schedule your maintenance, you can do it all at ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. For more than 50 years, Shawbills has kept us all rolling. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com.
Here at Corval Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process. We buy your car at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Our family of restaurants are
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Hour number 3 of AFR coming your way shortly. Russ Mitchell looms. In the meanwhile, your quick Sports Center update. Penny Hardaway lands a big get. Moussa Cisse commits to Memphis. The number 24 prospect in ESPN's class of 2020 picked Memphis over Kentucky, Florida State, Georgia, Georgetown, and LSU. Titans running back Derrick Henry is landing a $50 million contract. That's according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, who is reporting it's a 4-year deal worth $25.5 guaranteed. The Titans confirmed the deal but did not confirm the details of said deal. Hey, we're 1 week away from the Pelicans' first scrimmage. I know the games that actually count don't start till the 30th. But on this day, 1 week from tonight, they will scrimmage against the Nets. We will be able to watch it at NBA.com. Missed any of Matt's content during the show? It is available on our YouTube channel. Hour 3 of AFR comes your way now.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And the Brain.
And the Brain got a poop.
Brain finally nailed. Oh, you didn't get the right one. You got to get the one with the long tail. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Oh, Brain. What? Like, Brain.
Hump day?
Yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got the theme.
It's hump day.
Got the drops.
Hump day?
Got the hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got the camo.
It's hump day.
Got the lady and the camel.
Hump day?
That's the camel, the lady.
It's hump day.
Her.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I'm excited, Brain. You know who else is excited?
Day?
You know who else is excited?
It's hump day.
Brain, I'm asking you a question. You talk to me.
I'm supposed to hit the drop after every pause.
I know. But you can also talk to me.
Okay.
You know who else is excited?
Who?
Drew Moscona. Loves hump day. The kids love hump day. Why do I keep doing the hump day bit? Because the kids love hump day. Kids in their car, getting off of school. They're like, Daddy, your guy who yells a lot. Is today the day that they play the camels and the hump day and all? Yes, it is.
It's hump day.
And my son loves it too.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He wakes up in the morning, honest to goodness, and he'll ask for one of two things.
What are those two things?
Well, I was pausing so you'd hit the drop.
Oh.
It's hump day.
I thought that was one of those ones where you wanted me to talk.
When I say, do you know what it is, Brain? And you're like, that would be it. He asks either for Terrio.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Or hump day.
Hump day?
What did I say? All right, I think Russ Mitchell's going to be with us in 12 minutes. It's Wednesday. Joins the 5 o'clock hour. Texted him earlier to confirm. He never replied. So I'm wondering if he's mad. You think you weren't here last week. Russ and I had it was bound to happen that we would have a COVID conversation. He and I have had many of them off air, and I tried for as long as we could to not have the COVID conversation on the air and stick to college football. But he cracked last week, and then we butted heads. He said a bad word on air.
What was his take?
We said one of the words that you can't say on air.
No. What was his take on the COVID?
Russ has been very. He and I are very much on opposite ends of the spectrum. He is when it comes to COVID precautions, as conservative a human as you could possibly be. He wants everybody social distancing, masks, shut down everything, don't do anything. There's no way they'll play football. Very much on that end. And I'm very much on the complete opposite end of the whole thing. Not saying that we shouldn't take precautions or anything like that. Just that we should be open and we should do so responsibly. We should have a season and people should be allowed to make their own decisions if they want to attend the game and do so responsibly and things like that. So we just very much disagree. But anyway, But I love Russ, and he's one of my favorite people and one of my great friends in life. And it's okay that we disagree. There's a lot of people that disagree with me, but that's okay. But I think one of the key things is finding workable solutions for everybody to feel as comfortable as they can as we move through this fall. But the fantastic news, the super duper like legit fantastic news, if you're just a human on the face of planet Earth, is that it looks like researchers have found a workable COVID vaccine, or at least very much on the path toward finding a very workable vaccine. One of the vaccines that they've tested has developed antibodies, and they're going to test it again, the final stage of the testing later this month, which is fantastic news. Now, like realistically, how quickly could you get it mass produced and distributed around the world? I don't know all that, and that remains to be seen. But we are working toward a vaccine quicker than most anticipated, and that is fantastic. What is not fantastic news, however, is something that Brain said there in the top of the hour, which is Moussa Cisse, as we expected, has now made it official. Moussa Cisse has signed his letter of intent with Memphis. So Moussa was a silent LSU commit. I think it's safe to say now that we all are aware that Moussa Cisse was a silent LSU commit, and Will Wade really didn't mince his words when saying that LSU fans were going to get some really exciting news. And then, of course, Dick Vitale tweeted out what he did about LSU receiving a notice of allegations, something that 20 minutes later he had to retract. But nonetheless, the damage there was done, and all of the legwork that Will Wade and his staff had put in to recruit Moussa Cisse and to get a prospect like that in tow was lost. And Cisse ends up signing with his hometown, Memphis, or where he plays high school ball, I should say, Memphis. So he'll play for Penny Hardaway, which means LSU now, if you're just looking at the numbers, likely has one more spot available, because I think we're all assuming that Javonte Smart-Darius Day's return. We know Emmett Williams will not. He confirmed that himself on the show last week. And everything I've been told is that Trendon Watford will not be back. Until it is signed, sealed, delivered, it's never done. But that's my understanding, is that they're not expecting Watford to return. So that would mean you'd have one spot still available. To go recruit another big, and that's what Will Wade and his staff are looking for. They're currently seeking and searching high and low to see what bigs might be available, but whoever it might be, it's not going to be the caliber of someone like Cisse, who is a one-and-done lottery pick, long athletic shot blocker, and he would have been fantastic to stick right in the middle of your defense and affect shots around the rim, very similar to what Cavell Bigby Williams brought the team a couple of years ago. Now you hope someone like Josh Gray, the 7-footer, 3-star 7-footer who's coming in, could maybe fill that role. Or if it's Josh LeBlanc or Sharif O'Neal, guys who maybe have a little different game. They're not shot blockers, rim protectors per se in particular, but guys who have length, and more so than you did a year ago, where on that team a year ago, you had 6'5" Emmett Williams playing center at times. It was a team that lacked size, and Will Wade most definitely addressed that, but he's got a roster spot open, it would appear, to address that as we wait and see what the final word is going to be on the guys who have declared for the draft and whether they'll stay in or return. But we do know now that Moussa Cisse, it is official, he has signed his letter of intent with Memphis, so he is a Memphis Tiger there with Penny Hardaway. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. I'll probably talk about this with Russ Mitchell, provided we talk to him in 6 minutes. But the Davey O'Brien Award watch list has been released. And Big 12 and SEC, each with 5 on the Davey O'Brien watch list, which, of course, goes to the best quarterback in college football. So that led all conferences, the SEC and the Big 12 with 5. The ACC and Big 10 had 4. Pac-12 had 2. The American Athletic Conference had 3, which led the group of 5. You had 14 seniors, 8 juniors, 8 sophomores to make up the Davey O'Brien Award watch list. I would warn you or encourage you to take this with a grain of salt, because, of course, you have an entire season that needs to play out, but there are some things that are perplexing on here. For example, Jamie Newman of Georgia is on the Davey O'Brien watch list. With the news that JT Daniels has been deemed immediately eligible at the University of Georgia, the USC transfer, it's not even a given that Jamie Newman's going to win that job, yet he's on the Davey O'Brien watch list. The 5 quarterbacks from the SEC are Mac Jones from Alabama, Kellen Mond from Texas A&M, the aforementioned Jamie Newman, Bo Nix of Auburn, and Kyle Trask of Florida. The one whose career path has most paralleled Joe Burrow's would, of course, be Kyle Trask. I waited his turn. He got his turn. He started to perform better, and now it's going to be his chance to blow up, potentially. I would say Kellen Mond is the most intriguing of all on this list because he's a senior, a 3-year starter. They finally have a manageable schedule in College Station. We'll see how much better this team is, but we did share that the blue chip ratio metric with you earlier this year. 24/7 Sports has put it out, and they went back and basically analyzed rosters for as far back as they've had the 24/7 rankings. And every team that has won the national title dating back to 2001 has had more than half of their roster be 4- or 5-star prospects, and that has been the metric by which every national champion since 2001 has all fallen into that criteria. A&M moves into that metric this year. Yesterday, Phil Steele was on our show, and he said Phil Steele is his sleeper, a team that is outside of the top 10 that has a chance to make the college football playoff. So there's a lot of hype around A&M. They have a schedule that finally appears workable. If they get there, it will largely depend on Kellen Mond making that next step. Of course, you'll notice that Miles Brennan is not on this list. And it's hard to argue to the contrary because most of the players on this list, you're talking about guys who have been starting quarterbacks prior. Mac Jones of Alabama has only been a starter at the end of last season because of Tua's injury. But you're looking at Ian Book from Notre Dame, Charlie Brewer at Baylor, Shane Buechele from SMU, Jack Cohn from Wisconsin. Names that you recognize, Sean Clifford from Penn State, Jaden Daniels, who had a sensational freshman year last year at Arizona State, Sam Ehlinger, who, of course, will come into Baton Rouge this year. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence headline the group. Even transfers like De'Aaron King, who had been at Houston, is now at the University of Miami. Brock Purdy at Iowa State. There's a lot of veteran quarterbacks on this list, guys who have been starting quarterbacks in college football, and Miles Brennan isn't one of them. He's not been a starter, a consistent starter, a productive starter, so I can sort of understand why he wouldn't be here on this list. But I would be very surprised if by the end of the season he isn't in consideration. When you look at the weapons he has, as LSU seems to be more confident in their offensive line, as you're returning the best receiver in college football in Jamar Chase and 2 other guys who are very likely to be high draft picks this year in Terrace Marshall and Racey McMath. And then you look at the running game that he has to complement and the added pass-catching threat of Eric Gilbert and the other tight ends that they have on the roster that figure to factor into this offense. It's tailor-made for Miles Brennan to step in and be a distributor and do so effectively. Even if he's not Joe Burrow with 5,000 yards and 60 touchdowns, could Miles Brennan be a 3,000-yard passer with 25 touchdowns? If he does that, LSU come November will be very much in the thick of the SEC race and, by proxy, the national championship race as well. So, Miles Brennan not on the Davey O'Brien watch list, but this is the one that matters. The one that matters is come November. And I'll have a much better chance of being on it then. All right, it's after further review. This should have been day 3 of SEC Football Media Days, but as we know, SEC Football Media Days not happening amid the COVID-19 shutdown. What would Russ Mitchell have been looking forward to at SEC Football Media Days? We'll chat about that with Russ when we come back on AFR, provided Russ answers his phone.
AFR.
Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. It's Pluckers. We're having Drew's birthday party this weekend. We'll have some family and friends over to celebrate Drew turning 6. And every year, it's kind of a tradition. You come to Drew's birthday party, you're going to get fed Pluckers because it's so easy to get the catering trays. You can have grilled or naked, or if you go for the boneless tenders, you can have the fried or the boneless tenders. So the naked tenders. You can have them tossed in whatever wing sauce you want. It's so easy. You can do pans of salad or whatever side you want. If you're having a gathering of people, Pluckers catering trays are a great option. Now, if you want to get out and watch, the basketball tournament just ended, but whatever your favorite sporting event is that's actually taking place, you can watch it at Pluckers. You want to just belly up and have an ice cold draft beer at a bar, Pluckers is a great spot to do it. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine and Carry Out, Pluckers. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Our family of restaurants are fired up, and we can't wait to see you safely. Little Village downtown. Call or go online for offerings and hours. Palermo Ristorante. We're serving great food right now. Little Village on Airline. Reward yourself. Stabs in Central? Nice. Stabs Prime on Jefferson. Steak or seafood? Introducing Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. We're socially responsible from a distance.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of O.C. Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Our big New Year sale is going on now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, and you can get $23.50 off MSRP on a 20 RAV4 XLE or lease a 20 RAV4 LE for $269 a month. Come on down to Happy Town.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, scheduled to be joined by Russ Mitchell. Having trouble connecting with Russ, so no sweat, man. If we can get him, we'll certainly bring Russ onto the show. If not, no big deal. We'll just continue. If you want to join the show, you know you can do that. You can always tweet us at Matt Moscona, at 1045 ESPN. You can join us on the YouTube live chat. All of our shows now, if you're listening in Baton Rouge. Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, AFR, and it actually is Ott on the YouTube stream as well. Paul? No. Okay, so just those three then. OTB, Hanging with Hester and Handy, and then us here on AFR. If you go to the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel, we're calling that our Watch 1045. That's replaced our Watch app and all the other stuff. I guess just I'm all about transparency with the audience. I don't mind sharing all the thought process behind moving to the YouTube strategy. Many of you know, and of course we're still available on CST. So if you have cable, you're free to watch us there, and we encourage that. But we always wanted to provide a digital video option for our audience, and we had an OTT, an over-the-top television platform, where we built out our Watch 104.5 app, which you've heard us promote for quite some time. And the whole objective was to give you all the opportunity to consume us however, wherever, whenever you want. That's something I've always said. It's if you're listening on terrestrial radio in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, if you're watching us on CST, if you're listening on our podcast, if you're watching us back in short-form video clips on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it doesn't matter to me as long as you consume. And so our management is sort of taking that perspective as well, that approach, and giving you as many options as possible. Well, our digital video option was our Watch app, but it was built out for Roku or for your mobile device. But if you wanted to watch on a smart TV and you didn't have a Roku, then you couldn't get it. You have to build out that app on every different platform. So it has to be one built for Roku, one for Apple TV, etc. And that was just very costly, not efficient. So what we looked at in hindsight was, or with the benefit of hindsight, was why don't we just take what we're doing and put it on a platform that's free where everybody already is? So YouTube made the most sense. So we're working through some kinks, and I appreciate everyone who's watching. But if you go, we've obviously pushed a lot of our content to YouTube. So it's just very easy, because if you have a smart TV, you just pull up YouTube and search for 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and all of our shows will be live there streaming. So on your mobile device or on your smart TV, you can watch us there. So search 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge on YouTube. It'll pop up as Watch 104.5. Subscribe to that channel. That's where all of our shows will be. Yes, Brink.
You remember when you started down the video trail and it was just Facebook Live from your phone?
That wasn't where I started.
It wasn't?
Where I started was on Periscope.
Ooh.
Yes. I mean, that was the very rudimentary early days.
Yeah.
Were whenever in our downstairs studio, I would, on my phone, open Periscope and just set it up. It was leaning up against the jib for one of the mic stands.
Right.
And I just set it there, and people would watch on Periscope. And I'll be damned, like, people started watching. And I was like, well, maybe we should try Facebook, because Facebook has a little better video platform reach. So we did that, and more people watched. At that point, Gordy started seeing, like, dollar signs. Like, oh, my God, look, there's people there who might actually spend money, or we could sell that. And so that's when they bought me a Mevo camera and a dedicated phone to be able to control, have a better view. So we did Facebook Live streaming at that point. And I think that's when they made the commitment to build this studio, which obviously has been a game changer for us.
I just remember you jockeying that the headphone jack into the phone.
Yes.
And having to unplug it during the commercial to converse with the audience. And then.
Because we were feeding the board audio. This is so technical. I'm sure, like, nobody cares about this, and I apologize if this is boring everyone. But I just try to explain. But yes, Brian's right. Basically, it was because of caller audio. Like, if we had a guest on the phone, like, I'm wearing headphones, so if you're watching on Facebook Live or Periscope, you couldn't hear the caller. So I had to get a headphone jack to plug into the phone, so the board audio would go into the phone so they could hear a caller. But then in the breaks, like, I had to unplug it so that way we could converse offline with the audience watching. Do you think I've lost the entire audience with this segment, or do people actually care about that explanation?
I think there's a chunk of the audience that was here for that, obviously, because it grew. So maybe this is a little walk down memory lane for them, too.
A chunk. It'd be like one chocolate chip on a giant cookie, basically. But nonetheless. So anyway, we appreciate you if you want to watch digitally, there's your opportunity. All of our shows locally in Baton Rouge, and I understand we've got ESPN New Orleans and ESPN Alexandria as well, but our locally based show, and look, OTB's on those channels as well. So you can watch it. You can watch live on YouTube. All right, it's after further review. Russ was supposed to be with us. Speaking of OTB, the guys had Bo Pelini on today. You can go check out the entire interview. There was one interesting thing. There was a couple of interesting things with Bo. He did say it was interesting because every time I do an interview now and people are looking, well, I mean, COVID notwithstanding, and people ask about the season and about Bo coming in, I always get asked about the relationship with Bo and with Ed and how that's going to work. And I thought this was a very candid answer from Pelini. And I can't remember if it was Jordy or T-Bob that asked, but one of them asked, having been a head coach now at Nebraska and at Youngstown State and going back now to being an assistant, how has being a head coach helped you now being an assistant?
Well, I think you understand what the guy in that seat is going through. And, kind of look at things at a more holistic approach, probably. That you kind of understand the overall thing and what's trying to get accomplished, and then and I think obviously it gives you some credibility with the players. I'm actually looking forward to this. The fact that it's 14 years, I think I was a head coach somewhere in that neighborhood, and it's nice to just be able to get back and be able to hone in and coach and not have to worry about some of those things that go with sitting in that seat.
So I do very much appreciate the candor of saying sometimes it's nice to get back to just coaching on field, not have to worry about what goes along with sitting in that seat. Because remember, if a phone call comes at 2 a.m. because a player got in trouble, the defensive coordinator is not getting that call. The head coach is getting that call. If there's a dinner with boosters that want to meet with the head coach and get their FaceTime, it's not the defensive coordinator getting that call. It's the head coach getting that call. If there's whenever LSU would do the Tiger Tour caravan, like the head coach has to hit every one of those stops. The buck stops with you. It's just like being a business operator. And I think the candor with Bo there saying it's nice not to have to worry about some of that is refreshing. And I think, I talk about self-awareness a lot. And when Bo got the DC job, he said candidly his goal is to be a head coach again in the Power 5, which I think everyone can understand that and respect that. And this is a great path to do it, to come to Baton Rouge at a place where obviously coordinators are elevating. When you look at Joe Brady going from passing game coordinator to the NFL, you look at Dave Aranda going from defensive coordinator to Baylor, there is that opportunity to advance from LSU because when you have a lot of success, other programs want to take a piece of it. Alabama's seen that. The New England Patriots have seen that, where their coordinators always seem to be up for jobs. If it was Charlie Weiss and Romeo Crennel you fast forward to Josh McDaniels when he got his job in Denver. It's just, it always seems like it's the next one up. Matt Patricia getting that job in Detroit. People want that connectivity with success, so it's probably an opportunity for Bo, but it's also a really good opportunity for him to take a step back and evaluate from a different chair, which is why I look at I always get this question about, can Bo and Ed, both big, fiery personalities, defensive-minded guys, can they coexist? Yeah, they can, because their personalities are similar in that respect. I actually thought Dave Aranda and Ed might have had a tougher time because their personalities are so different. Dave is very mild-mannered and very calculated, probably isn't the right word. He is, but I'm not suggesting that Ed isn't, but Dave is just he's just much more mild-mannered. He's not the guy that's going to yell and scream. Ed is. So when you're a guy who doesn't yell and scream and you don't want to be yelled at or screamed at and things aren't going wrong, like I can remember the touchdown that UCF scored going into halftime in the Fiesta Bowl 2 years ago. Going into the locker room, Ed Orgeron was wearing out Dave Aranda, going on, very much publicly, going into the locker room. That's the kind of thing that probably didn't sit well with Dave. But that's his personality. It's okay. They obviously coexisted. They did just fine. Don't misunderstand. But Bo would probably give it right back to Ed and not think anything of it. And then they do what guys do, right? And you get over it, you say what you got to say, and you move on, and you respect the other guy for it. I think because the two are so similar, that's actually going to work out really well. And I think because of what Bo just said there, the two of them, having had that experience being a head coach and now being able to take a step back, it's going to give him even more sort of respect and understanding of what Ed's going through. The bigger question for me defensively with LSU, it's not can Ed and Bo coexist. Maybe I'm naive. I just don't see that as being a problem. I think the bigger question, obviously, is you transition from 3-4 to 4-3, does your personnel match? And I know we've talked about this a bunch over the offseason, but the two spots are obviously at linebacker and at defensive end because you lost your 4 starting linebackers last year, and now you're bringing in Jabril Cox, which is a massive help, obviously. But, like Pelini talked about Ray Thornton, who's now kicked inside. He's playing middle linebacker. Ray Thornton's never played Mike, but you're going to count on him to be your depth there. You got Jabril Cox, and you've got Micah Baskerville, and you got Damone Clark, and everybody after that are kind of question marks. Defensive end, like you hope Ali Gay coming from JUCO translates. You hope Justin Thomas is a 4-3 defensive end is awesome. You hope that Andre Anthony putting his hand in the dirt can be a terror coming off the edge, but none of them have done it. So, like, when you ask about LSU's defense in 2020, for me, it's not a question of can Ed and Bo coexist. I think they want the same things. They're the same. They're similar personalities, and both want athletic defensive linemen that are gonna go get the quarterback. I mean, I think that's what they want. They want their D-line to make plays. So they see eye to eye on that. I just think, like, does LSU have the personnel, guys that are going to step up and make those plays immediately? There's no doubt they're recruiting for it. I mean, when you just look at how they're stockpiling talent at those positions, I mean, there's no doubt it's going to be an incredible rise over these next few years defensively at those positions. But will it happen immediately in 2020? I think that's the bigger question. Go check out the interview that the guys did with Bo Pelini this morning, Off the Bench YouTube channel or at 1045ESPN.com. AFR, we're brought to you by Carriages in Bocage, carriagesbr.com. Before we jump here, let me remind you, Carriages has an awesome summer sale going on right now. So if you're shopping for someone who's got a birthday over the summer, great chance to get by Carriages. Or maybe you're buying for yourself, you want to improve your summer wardrobe, you can save up to 50% off. It's a buy more, save more sale. You buy one sale item, you get 20% off. Buy two sale items, get 40% off. Buy three sale items, get 50% off. That is a store-wide sale right now at Carriages. Go check them out. We're talking suits, summer sport coats, summer sport wear, like those Peter Millar performance gear shirts that you hear me talk about all the time. It's a great chance right now to get by and go see our friends at Carriages in Bocage and see if you can save. Buy more, save more, up to 50%, 50, up to 50% off right now at Carriages in Bocage. All right, tap to further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. I was supposed to be chatting with Russ. If you're just joining us, just had trouble connecting with Russ. I don't know what's going on, if it's a phone issue or what it may be, but no worries. We will carry on. When we come back from this break, I want to reset the massive story of the day, which is Greg Sankey, after over the weekend talking about running out of time, and what appeared as if they were just an overriding negative tone and light on the college football season, kind of shed a bit of sunshine today on the possibility of college football in the fall in the SEC. We'll reset that when we come back. Glad to have you aboard with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at 1hourbr.com. O-N-E, spell it out, 1hourbr.com. You can read their reviews. If you go to the website, you can tap local reviews, and you can see what people are saying. Customers just like you are saying about River City's 1 Hour Air and their local technicians. Just go to the website, tap local reviews. The first one up it was a 5-star review of Moses. Moses was very professional, efficient, quick to solve the problem, gave good insight into the problem. Thank you. That's from Scott G. in Baton Rouge. So go check out the reviews. I tell you all the time, go read the local reviews. See what other customers are saying about River City's 1 Hour Air. And one of the great things about River City's 1 Hour is when a technician's coming to your house, you will get a text with a picture of the tech coming to your house, the name and reviews of that technician. Who else does that? Only River City's 1 Hour Air.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process. We buy your car at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Here you go.
All right.
Top speed.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
One day after holding court with the Vice President of the United States of America, Ed Orgeron was a guest on Your World with Neil Cavuto this afternoon on the Fox News Channel. Again, stumping for college football. Ed Orgeron said, quote, "I do believe we need to play football for many reasons. And first of all, I think the country needs it. I think the state of Louisiana needs it. The economy needs it. We all need it." Ed Orgeron is doing something that I really would like to see more people with the stature that he has around college football do, which is very publicly say that you want to proceed. One of the things that I know has sort of been one of my sort of benchmarks has been, I think we need to ask the players and coaches if they want to proceed. And that falls in line with part of why I yelled and screamed a week ago whenever there was a local lawmaker who wanted to take that decision away from schools and give it to the Bessie board. But my point then was, like, aren't parents of athletes a better judge of what's best for their child than a lawmaking body? I mean, that's my opinion on the matter. So, you know, I mean, I can tell you point blank, someone who I've always enjoyed talking with personally and professionally on the show is Shauna Ricks. Shauna's son, Elias Ricks, is a 5-star number 1 cornerback in the country. And she's been on the show several times. And when this started about the return to school, her comments were overwhelming about how confident she was. In her words were that they can take, meaning LSU, they can take better care of my child than I can. And what she was alluding to, as she elaborated, was LSU had the testing and the protocols in place to keep her son safer than if he were just going to a gym to work out or whatever the case may be, whenever you have those resources. And it's something that we're starting to see materialize now. I mean, the SEC has 14 member institutions. You have 14 football programs with 108 players and coaches, staff members, etc. If you round that to around 150 people over 14 member institutions, you're talking about 2,000 people that are being routinely tested. Well, today, Greg Sankey, the president or the commissioner of the SEC, went on Outkick the Coverage with Clay Travis and gave an update on the SEC numbers as they stand right now after the Monday meeting that the ADs had with Sankey in Birmingham.
Last week, our numbers are way down in the low single digits to zero. One of my presidents this week said, hey, I'm comfortable that we can support and oversee and keep people healthy. And part of what's had to happen is the education about how you conduct yourself on your own time.
You got a couple thousand people being tested routinely in the SEC for football. And the commissioner says, as of last week, their total number of positive cases is in the low single digits to zero. It speaks to the point that was said all along, which is they have more resources. My bigger concern isn't guys in the weight room or playing football, because you can test up until the point. Like I know the masses in this audience aren't watching the UFC every weekend, but they've run 9 UFC cards with thousands of people when it comes to the fighters in their camp in these scenarios where guys are bloody and sweating, and they're cutting each other and all types of fluid exchange, and nobody's tested positive after one of those events because all of the variables are maintained all the way up to and through the event. Same can happen. I would say the bigger concern is when LSU student athletes go to class with students who maybe aren't adhering to those protocols and aren't being tested. That's the bigger concern. So for all of the question that we've had about the possibility of an on-time season or a delayed start or whatever it may be, in all of the uncertainty that surrounded it, what's crystallized for me in the past couple of days are several things. Number one, it's what Stephanie Remp said on the show yesterday. And this just isn't, I can't let this move anywhere out from the forefront of my mind. When I asked her about the possibility of LSU playing with no fans this year, this was the answer that LSU's chief operating officer gave us.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in our department is prepared to get their arms around no fans. Like that would be devastating.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have 100,000 people. It's not like I'm speaking the gospel. We don't know what is going to happen. But the idea that no fans would be there, I think, is a little bit hard for all of us to get our arms around.
So the idea of an on-time start with no fans does not seem like that's possible for LSU. It's not something they're entertaining. She says, the chief operating officer at LSU has said it's not even something anyone has entertained. Like, they're not even considering that possibility because it's not feasible. On the same day, you have the University of Michigan, who today sent out a notice to its fans saying no season tickets, individual game tickets only, and they're prepared to proceed with a limited capacity or no fans. That's something that clearly the SEC is not willing to do, considering Stephanie Remp also said that the SEC seems like they're uniform in that, because for the same reason that LSU financially can't give up $85 million in their budget, it's the same thing in Florida and Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee. Like, it's just not a realistic option. So what has to be realistic is delaying the season. If you can't start September the 5th with fans in the stands, then what has to be the option is delaying the season to whatever part you can to allow fans so they can generate some, if not all, of the revenue that they'd be missing. And the other thing that seems abundantly clear is the SEC is not interested in a conference-only schedule because there are too many. The commissioner said they're hanging on to their traditional rivalries, and you had 2 athletic directors in the SEC today say that even if their leagues go to conference-only schedules, they're still going to play their traditional rival. Scott Strickland at Florida said, even if the SEC or ACC go conference-only, we're still playing Florida State. And Ray Tanner at South Carolina said the same thing about their game with Clemson, that he's had that conversation with Dan Radakovich. You don't think that John Swofford of the ACC or Greg Sankey of the SEC aren't in some way moved when they talk publicly or try to make decisions for the league by their athletic director saying, hey, if you go conference only, we're still playing them in the non-conference. Of course that's going to affect what you do. So, one day closer. But the thing that, to me, is the biggest takeaway is, and I've said all along, they're going to play football because they have to play football. I mean, Stephanie Remp essentially told you that. They're going to play football because they have to play football. When do they kick off? How many games they play? Are there fans? How many fans? All of that is to be determined, but we're one day closer still. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Really appreciate our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, laser hair removal is a great option this time of year and all throughout the month of July. Buy 2 treatments, get a third for free. Some have asked, well, like, how many do you need? It really depends on the area and the thickness of the hair. So, I mean, if you just have, like, thin, I know sometimes ladies may have, like, thin sideburn hair. Like, that won't take as many treatments to get rid of permanently. If you're a guy who, when you take your shirt off, it looks like you're wearing a sweater, that's probably going to be a little bit more work. But nonetheless, don't look at me like that. You buy 2, you get 1 free. Buy 2 laser hair removal treatments, get a third free all this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Just go for that consultation. Let them give you an assessment of what they think it would take to permanently be rid of that body hair. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online, TheAntiAgingClinics.com. All right, game time with Jimmy Ott is coming up in Baton Rouge in 14 minutes from right now. So we'll do Otter Locks. Brain, are we convinced that we've got the proper setup and hookup with Otter to where we'll be able to execute this segment today?
From this end, absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to hear him give us a lock on Lithuania. Was it Lithuania or was it?
Lithuania was yesterday, yeah.
Or Liverpool. It was Liverpool, not Lithuania. Yeah.
It started with an L.
Yeah, it did because he went
It started with an L, though.
It would start with an L, though. Lithuania to Liverpool or Samsonite. It's after further review. Final break. We'll come back, wrap up with what we learned, and Otter will be here to tell you how to lose your money gambling. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and online at PremierSouthLA.com. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, Super Service Award from Angie's List, Torch Award for Ethics in Business. They do commercial roofing. They do residential roofing. They do metal roofing. They do gutters and awnings. They've got such a useful website as well where you can do a roof visualizer. If you need to see it, you could do that at their website. They got a great gallery of their works and reviews from customers as well. It's at PremierSouthLA.com, PremierSouthLA.com. They service Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and the North Shore. So no matter where you are kind of in South Louisiana, chances are Premier South Roofing can come out to you. If you've had, and look, it's South Louisiana in the summer. A lot of people have awful weather this time of year. If you've had high winds, heavy rain, a lot of that stuff going on at your house, and you might have had roof damage, Premier South Roofing can check for you for free. Check them out online, PremierSouthLA.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of O.C. Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 for only $30,400 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Okay, let's find out where you should lose your money gambling today. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
Otter Locks. What's up, Otter? Where are you tonight, man?
Oh, Rouge Creole.
Right there, Perkins Row, huh?
Right there at Perkins Row. Yeah, come on by and see us like you've done the last 2 nights on your way home. We'd love to see you.
Hey, some people have families, Otter. Some people have to get home to their children, all right? Not everybody,
Yeah, well,
not everybody can stop in every night and go have a cocktail. I'd love to do that.
Hanny's here.
That's supposed to incentivize me to come? Hey, put it up on Facebook Live. Let me see some Island Hanny.
Look. Put Hanny up on Facebook Live. He wants to see him. Yeah, show Hanny. Give us proof that he's here. You know, there. Look at him. He's cleaned up. Remember that draft night garb he had on? Wow.
Should we remind Hanny that it was me who on that night told him that the Saints were going to sign Jameis Winston?
Yeah. It was definitely in the mix. So, hey, sorry about Liverpool today. I apologize.
You lost again?
Yeah, well, I lost 1 in a row.
That's 2 in a row.
Okay, 2 in a row. All right, but you know what? You know where we are today
All right,
in the MMA? We're on, what is it called? What is it, Fight Island?
Yeah, UFC's at Fight Island.
You know what Fight Island reminds me of? A great show back in the day. Fantasy Island. They're playing.
Like tattoo. Look, she played. Oh, God.
Calvin Qatar and Dan Ige, whatever. Huge chalk fest on Saturday night in Fight Island. We're going to go with the dog in Ige.
Are you giving me UFC betting lines? Otter, I didn't even know you followed the UFC. Who slipped you that piece of paper across the desk?
I've been following soccer for a month,
Okay.
but I mean, you know, so I mean, hey, Kazarian gave us some more picks. He was 4-1. He was a tough beat from sweeping the house with a Jan fight where, I mean, the ref should have stepped in like a minute before. It barely went over. If that doesn't happen, I mean, he goes 5-0. On his picks over the weekend. So we got some picks from him later on as well.
All right.
So, yeah.
What else is coming up on the show tonight? What else is coming up?
Michael Bachuk with us today, Eclipse Award winner. Del Mar racetrack. Several jockeys test positive. They have canceled their racing for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. The Memorial, Jack Nicklaus's his tournament up in Ohio this weekend. We've got Rob Delamorte's picks. We've got Scott Rabalay's picks. We've got some other picks from Greer and Dupes as well. We got all kinds of picks for that as well. And Andy Iskoe. Andy Iskoe he's our Ivy League grad, analytics guy, and he's got some MLB futures and some angles for us tonight as well.
Game time.
You know what we did?
Go ahead.
You know what we got to?
What?
It's in the second hour, our predicted order of finish in the SEC.
All right.
This is the night where you have to turn them in up in Birmingham. So.
Oh, that's very
true.
true.
To Birmingham this weekend.
Did what now? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Can you give me a ride again to Birmingham?
No, there's no shot of doing that this weekend. But I do. But the next time it comes around, Otter, we'll road trip again. I did have fun with it, but not this weekend.
Yeah, it was fun till the ticket. Get played.
Get out of here. I got 20 seconds up done with my show. Game time with Jimmy Ott is coming up next at Rouge Creole in Baton Rouge. Get out, have some dinner with him. Brain, what did you learn?
Otter's Hervé Villachez impression is awful.
Paul, what did you learn?
Tuscaloosa still hates Tommy Tuberville.
All right. Oh, God, how about that? All right, we got to get out of here.
What'd you learn?
You should be playing you still did not play my butt music at the end. The AFR theme is the outro. The AFR theme is the outro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. It's AFR.
AFR.
It's after further review. Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com. What we learned is so rushed because the Otter just keeps yelling out lines from Fantasy Island. If we could just get him to stop talking, then maybe we could actually get through what we learned. And get better bets as well from the Otter. He's 0 for 2 his last 2 days. Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. Dr. Blake Williamson, 2 years ago, did LASIK on my eyes. And I'm telling you, the thing that I was always worried about was putting a laser on my eye. I was always very leery of that when people would mention LASIK. I met with Dr. Blake Williamson. He explained to me how LASIK, historically, is the safest elective procedure ever. So there's nothing to worry about. 924-2020. Go for that free consultation. Meet with Dr. Blake Williamson. Let him earn your trust and see if you're even a candidate for LASIK. The Williamson Eye Center. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. WilliamsonEYE.com.
Here at Corval Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes, you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process. We buy your car at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.